up, everyone? Welcome back to the Raging Ricky Sports Podcast. I am Raging Ricky himself. We're going to dive back into the NBA playoffs after a few games have been played. But first, I'd like to introduce a couple of people I have here with me, a couple of familiar faces, a new face too. First off, I got Brendan Yoshida, COD God, Fantasy God. I think those were the two names we got last week. We got a little Puggy Q, John Ellis, Mr. Johnny E in the house, repping his merch. You know what it is. And our new guest, all of our friends, one of the best guys we know, Winson Cheong. You know the vibes. What's up, Winson? Say hello. Say hello.
What's up? What's up, camera? You're looking good today. How you doing? Hit me up after.
All right. Let's just get into it. All right. I'm gonna start off with the matchup that's over. Milwaukee versus Miami, the series that is already finished. I had them winning. I didn't see a sweep. I knew they were good, but I didn't know they were this good. But Brendan, why did they get the sweep? Why was it a 4-0?
Because Miami's a bunch of bums.
Oh,
damn. I didn't see that coming.
You know the real reason why I think they lost? This is called karma.
Karma?
Or we'll say Larma. That's karma with an L.
This guy's so good.
It's karma for them not getting Kyle Lowry, who would help them a lot.
I love that. And I absolutely agree.
And think of the two people that they could have got rid of for Kyle Lowry. What did they do this series?
Did Oladipo?
Nothing. Not Oladipo. You know? It was Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. They're both pretty much useless this whole series. And Kyle Lowry would have replaced Goran Dragic, who's usually better off the bench anyways.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
So I think that's just karma. And Jimmy Butler couldn't do anything either. He sucked too.
Should have unloaded.
Yeah.
I think everyone was thought Jimmy Buckets would be like the same Jimmy Buckets of last year for sure. And I think that you're right. The Kyle Lowry thing is 100% true. I think they're in a win now mode. Clearly, if you went to the finals, you're win now. Mm-hmm. Kyle Lowry brings you at least level with Milwaukee at the minimum. Mm-hmm. You have a good chance to win regardless.
Yeah, at least someone can play with Holiday, right? No. Kyle Lowry can play with Holiday a little bit at least.
Easily.
Goran Dragic cannot play with Holiday.
No, not at all.
You know what's crazy? I heard a rumor that last year, because when James Harden was wanting to be traded, the Heat were asked to give up Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, and a first rounder for James Harden. And back then, Tyler Hero was kind of ascending as a star, right? After the playoff series. Shout out Katya Henry Ellis. And Kendrick Nunn had a really good rookie season. And then Duncan Robinson kind of broke out as one of the best three-point shooters. And now looking back on it, that would have been such a good. That would have been the steal of the century because a first rounder, because Miami would have been probably top 4 seed, top 3 seed. Jimmy Butler wouldn't have looked like a shell of himself, and then they could have just loaded up with shooters. And all it would have costed was one first rounder, and then you could have picked up whoever you got. Trevor Ariza
basically is what
you got. Trevor Ariza. He's a very good role player.
Yeah, he would have done his bit.
Oh yeah,
I agree. They're in win now. They needed to win now. Like. That's a great example. James Harden and Kyle Lowry. You could have had both those guys. Him, buckets, and Bam. That's a big three. Mm-hmm. That's an easy big three that can take you far. Again, that's what you wanted to do. You didn't want to see if Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson needed to develop even more. Clearly, they do now. They do. They need to take a couple years, and they're not going to be close to contending anymore. I don't see.
It definitely makes Miami's future look pretty grim. I'm not going to lie. All those three players, at the time, last year in the bubble, they looked so good, and to go from looking like that to what they are now, basically being irrelevant role players, just not being able to get it done. Did Duncan Robinson even play a few games? I think he was out in one of the games.
I think he played all of them, but he didn't play much in one of them or something.
Yeah. I think I was just looking at the stats for one of them. I didn't see him on it, but how embarrassing is that? And then like you said, they had the opportunity to get Kyle Lowry for these role pieces that I'm assuming they think they're going to build a future around, which is very questionable at this moment. But also just hats off to Milwaukee. Played a super good, clean series. Giannis dominant. Drew and Chris Middleton, unstoppable. And also shout out to Pat Connaughton, the true rock of the team. Oh my God. My guy, I never doubted you, Pat. Yeah. Not for a second.
Drew Holiday is the truth.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we need to give him a lot of praise.
It's crazy because if you look up Drew Holiday as a defender, and universally all players are like, Damian Lillard is like, yo, Drew Holiday is the best defender. Kevin Durant is like, he's the best defender. But last year he didn't make the All-NBA team. Patrick Beverley made it all over him. So it just shows you that the media doesn't know defense. All these defensive statistics are so off because Drew Holiday was on the Pelicans last year and they were one of the worst defensive teams. But Drew Holiday was amazing still.
He was phenomenal.
And he's still averaging 16, 10, and 7. And he's literally exactly what they need because they put Giannis in the post now because he doesn't have a great handle. He's not great laterally, but he is probably one of the best north to south. Him, LeBron James, amazing drivers. You can't stop him. Yeah. So now
in the transition,
he kind of shifts them all. Him and Chris Paul on the Suns kind of shifted everyone to their proper position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to touch on that actually because I think when they made that trade for Drew, everyone was like, "Oh, that's not good enough. Like you need more than Drew." Not knowing what this guy actually delivers on the defensive side, let alone his offensive numbers are great and he plays the point pretty well. I don't see why he wouldn't be considered.
Amazing.
It was just he got a one All-Star appearance and everyone's like, he's not really an All-Star. He get it one time in Philly, then he moves to New Orleans. He never got an All-Star since, so everyone's like, that's maybe a half All-Star, but he's clearly playing like an All-Star easily. Even I think it was a few years back when they made a little run, New Orleans. Who'd they beat in the first round? I think it was 2018.
They beat the Portland Trailblazers. With Anthony Davis is there?
Yeah,
still there.
DeMarcus Cousins was out.
Drew locked up Damian Lillard.
And you can see he's good.
And in a podcast, Dame was like, that series made me realize I need to switch up my game because the Pelicans had Dame locked. Like he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't Damian Lillard.
How many times
he was just dumb. He was just dumb.
He was the rapper Damian Lillard, not the ball player.
He's a great rapper though. Jeez.
But yeah, okay. Let's get into Brooklyn and Boston. I think a lot of us we're expecting to see a clean sweep, if not 5. It can still be 5, but I mean, Jason Tatum showed out yesterday. He was the best player on the court, and KD, James Harden, and Kyrie were on that court. So does Boston have a sliver of a chance in Game 7?
No. But they have the best 19-year-old in the game because everyone's always like, yo, Jason Tatum, the youngest player. He's going to be 19 forever. This guy's so successful, so young.
I think he's 24.
He's 20
now. Yeah.
I think he's 23 because Luka's 22 and he's 23.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's without Jaylen Brown, too.
Yeah.
And Kemba Walker did not have a good game.
No, Marcus Smart had a good game.
I saw Evan Fournier.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Hey, Jason Tatum had 50, and they won by 6 points. He has to score 50 every day for them to have a chance to win.
Yeah, I think Kyrie, not Kyrie. James Harden and KD had 81, 82, something like that.
Yeah, they had a lot.
And that wasn't enough.
It was, in the low 80s between the three of them, which is just ridiculous, but we all knew that's what that team is going to be. Jason Tatum did a phenomenal job delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, can't wait.
That was so good. Like, I was like, wow.
They put on a clinic. You just couldn't miss.
Yeah, it was
all different sorts of shots.
16 for 30 from the field, 13 for 15 from the free throw line.
That's phenomenal.
And you only win by 6? Okay.
Good luck. Get what he has to do.
What are you supposed to do to that? Like, the Nets are
to be honest, I think it's a 5-game series.
Yeah, I thought
Jason Tatum's not going to do it again.
I thought it was a sweep. Because Jason Tatum, the first 2 games, was playing terrible. He was averaging like 15.5 points. He was playing like fucking Tate.
They needed him to average 30.
Yeah. Not Tate Young.
No, they need him to average 40 and Kemba Walker to not. Kemba Walker didn't even score double digits.
And they still won, though. So that's what I'm saying. Imagine if Kemba Walker drops 30, and then I guess Tatum drops 32. I mean, they might still one more game. I don't think so. I think it's over in 5.
But you know what the crazy thing is the big 3 in Brooklyn averaged like 82, 83 points, right? They didn't even have like crazy phenomenal games. So what happens if they all perform at the level and then one of them goes on a Tatum level break like they easily could? Then it's a smash. They smash Boston.
Yeah, I think we're all going to see it.
It's a 5-game series. I'm very comfortable saying that. I don't think Tatum has another performance. Kemba and Evan Fournier aren't gonna have. Have performances like that.
Kyrie scored 17. He was like 6 for 17.
He was at 2 points in the first half, and then
I don't expect Kyrie to be.
He had a terrible game.
I don't expect Kyrie to be terrible. I mean, remember when Kyrie's like, I'm never gonna have another shooting game like this, and he shoots like even worse. So he was right, but I think there's too much talent, and we forget. Brooklyn actually has a really good supporting cast. They have Joe Harris.
They do.
Spencer Dinwiddie's still coming back from his ACL.
Imagine if they
had. He's not actually coming back for the playoffs, is he?
Because it was a partially torn ACL, so he's been rehabbing.
He played a couple games at the beginning of the season.
At the beginning of the season, it's partially torn. So partially torn. The timeline's around 6 months, so he could come back in the second. Yeah, so he's showing all his rehab videos, and he looks good. I mean, if you just give him 10 minutes and give Kyrie or James Harden a break like that. And they got Blake Griffin
and Bruce Brown, I think.
Joe Harris.
That's the name? The Brown guy.
Yeah, Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown. He's putting in minutes.
Well, with Nick Claxton.
Claxton is the big.
Claxton's like barely even playing, but I think he played a bit more in Game 3, but I'm a huge fan of Nick Claxton. I think he's very, very good. I think if they don't like sell out and get like Blake Griffin on a min and stuff and like make those additions, LA too. Is he even playing? I don't even know.
If I were the Detroit
Nick Claxton's
Pistons,
huge. I think he's a very good player.
I would sue Blake Griffin.
Yeah,
They robbed me.
I know.
Blake Griffin has dunked like 15 times in the half season. In the 2 years he was with Detroit, layup, air ball. Sorry, my knee hurts. Owie. I would
He didn't
sue
have one
them.
All-Star season though.
I would sue him. This is a suit. This is oh my god. This is worse than Elon Musk tanking the crypto scene.
my god.
This is worse. This is oh my gosh.
All right.
It is pretty embarrassing though, to be honest with you. Like I
He
just
did it on
think,
purpose.
oh well, it's pretty clear to see that his motivation was not there in Detroit. He did not care because he knew the team sucked, and he was like, Jeremy Grant's gonna do nothing for us. So he's like, I'm not even gonna try. Gets on a phenomenal Brooklyn team, and now is all of a sudden playing, well, not like super good, but he's definitely playing a lot better than he was in Detroit because he's motivated. It's pretty disgusting to see a professional athlete like that.
It is sad.
Like demotivated to perform because of the team that he's on. He just didn't care.
His acting was so good, like he deserves an Oscar. Because I thought he couldn't dunk. I thought he would never touch the rim again. Yeah. And then he puts a putback like the first game back. I'm like,
first game.
I'm like, huh?
It's true. It's sad to see, but anyways, I want to get into what I think the best series so far in my eyes is Atlanta versus the Knicks. I think that's phenomenal.
So good.
And I didn't know that there was like, I don't know if it's a hatred or like there's just a massive beef between, I don't know if it's just the two cities or is it just Trae Young and the Knicks fans. They were chanting at him.
Yeah, no, I think it's the Knicks fans in general. They're crazy.
They just,
like,
I think they're
when
just
they actually have a team that can do something. They're nuts. It's like Toronto and the Leafs. They're kind of crazy too. Any of these teams, any of these older teams, when they finally have someone that's competing, their fans go nuts.
Yeah.
Also, the Knicks have been bad for how long now? And so they're finally in the playoffs. Of course they're going to be free and amped. They're going to go any team that they were playing against in that series would be getting it just as bad as Atlanta.
Yeah, but this bad, like they're like F you, Trae.
100%.
And he's chirping it right back.
The Knicks fans do not care. They would have been giving it to anybody.
Did you see the chant that they had? They had
is ruthless.
Trae Young's balding.
Yeah.
And I never watched basketball when the Knicks were good. So this just proves to me that even after a decade of mediocrity,
more than that. I know they had a series when
like one season with Carmelo, season with Carmelo and Amari, but besides that, like decades, they're still the mecca of basketball. Like the NBA is better when the New York Knicks are better.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. Like they said, the fans are delusional. They said we want Brooklyn after game one. Like Julius Randle didn't suddenly become Pascal Beyblade Siakam. Like, this guy is so bad.
He didn't have a good game. But I think game 2 he played well enough, and then game 3 he went to Atlanta. But who are you guys taking then? From what you've seen now, are you guys switching up? Are you guys keeping your picks?
I think I had the Knicks in 6, but I think no.
No.
I don't know. Julius Randle's playing bad because one, Atlanta can game plan for him now because it's all they have to do. Yeah. And then Derrick Rose is playing well, which is giving the Knicks life. And I just think Trae Young is obviously better than Derrick Rose, and he can carry the team. And if John Collins, Clint Capella, and this amazing sporting cast can actually do something, then I think they have no problem.
Which I think they are. I think Bogdan and Herter are playing quite well.
And Gallo, too.
Gallo's shooting.
Yeah. What the hell is on his head? Oh my
gosh.
Mohawk. When I saw that, I thought that was a bug. I'm like, what is on his head?
Clean this man.
What in the toupee is on his head?
That'd be funny. What if the New York Knicks came out with like a bug swatter? With all their fans.
Oh my god.
But it's been great to watch though. I've loved watching these games.
Oh, so
I think it's going to game 7. I think Atlanta's winning it in 7. I might have picked Atlanta in 6 or something, but I think Atlanta in 7 because they seem quite well matched, regardless of the whole Julius Randle not playing too hot. I think even on Atlanta's side, I think John Collins will have a couple off games. I don't think Trae will. Capella's kind of limited in what he does, but he does it efficiently and well. So, and then those two guard Julius Randle. I just think it'll go 7. He'll go 7. I think this one's almost a guarantee 7.
Well, if you think about it, during the regular season, Julius Randle averaged 36 against the Hawks. And now,
really?
And now he's averaging less than 15.
Well,
So I expect him to at least have a Julius Randle type game, like 23, 24,
maybe
10 and 5.
30.
And Derrick Rose is reverting back to D Rose. Like, he is nice.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
It just makes me so sad to see like what could have been.
Yeah, it's
Like
it took
8 years for him to finally be healthy.
A long time.
A few
Too long. But I'll never bet against the Knicks ever. Not after what they've achieved this season with that disgusting roster. I have no idea where they are. Everything in my body is telling me to say Atlanta's going to do it. But I don't care.
You're taking the Knicks.
Oh yeah, in this series, in like 6 or 7. Yeah.
No, I think
I'm all in on the Knicks and their wondrous Tom Thibodeau. I don't know how they did it.
I think Atlanta's too talented. Like their shooting, their shooting is too much in my opinion.
Yeah.
Bogey is so good. I did not think he was this good of a shooter, but his stroke is beautiful. Trae Young obviously loves to be the villain. Like he's embracing it. You see how Julius Randle is kind of shrinking under the spotlight because they're both in their first playoff series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, definitely for Atlanta. Yeah, and Julius Randle was on the Lakers,
but the Lakers been terrible.
And then he was on New Orleans, so I don't think so. Yeah.
No. He hasn't even smelled the playoffs. So this is his first time.
Yeah.
And you see how one star is shrinking from the pressure and one is like glowing up. Even with a bald spot, he's still glowing up.
A little bit more. It's just shining.
The sun's shining off his bald spot.
Oh man, he could become One Punch Man. He just runs 5 miles a day, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. It's over.
What was I gonna say? No, yeah, Trae Young. I think he didn't. People were looking at his season and were like, not as good as last year. Maybe he regressed a little bit. Playoffs come and he's like, okay, no, he's back. Mm-hmm. So I think for that reason alone, I think Atlanta's got it. But let's go to the West. Into another really good series. I thought it'll be over by today, but Dallas versus the Clippers. Clippers take the win, Game 3 on the road. Do they have a life? Can they?
Yes.
100%.
I always thought the Clippers were the much more talented team.
And
I think they just needed to break this losing streak and kind of get their confidence back. Because if you look at it, Paul George is not Pandemic P no more. He's not hitting the backboard off the corner.
No,
he's averaging really good percentages. He's playing like an all-star, and so is Kawhi. And the Dallas Mavericks were shooting before that game yesterday 52% from 3. 52%. I can't shoot that from the free throw line. And they're shooting.
I can confirm that is true.
Tier 1, we're interviewers. We're okay. 1-2 punch.
I was gonna say though, Dallas is definitely lacking in the interior. I think the Clippers doubled them in the paint. I think it was like halfway through the fourth, it was like 22-44 in the paint. Mm-hmm. Dallas versus Clippers, and you look at KP, you're thinking like, okay, come on, you got to score a few points. I think he didn't even hit double digits yesterday. And they still only lost by 10. I'm like, imagine if this guy was playing like he was before.
If he could just drop 20 and 10, they'd be fine.
Yeah,
he's not the same though.
No.
I know, it's so sad too. I mean, 7-3, he could shoot the ball well. He definitely could shoot the ball well. He had, maybe 4 rebounds? I'm like, come on, you can't be 7-3 and grab only 3 or 4 boards. I know you're a little lanky, and Tim Hardaway didn't have a great game either for them yesterday.
If KP was stepping up, I'd maybe be a little bit more inclined, but I definitely think the Clippers are just too strong. And I also think they're seasoned enough to not shake under being down 2-0. And we saw that by them getting the crucial Game 3. If they went down 3-0, yikes. Yeah, but they got the massive 2-1 now, and I just think they're going to continue to roll from here. I think it's going to be a deep series. I think easily Game 7. But I think the Clippers are ultimately going to pull it out.
Okay. I switched up from last week. I watched the game, and I'm like, you know what? I had the Clippers. I'm taking Dallas. So I'm still going to stick with Dallas in 7. But how good is Luka Doncic? This guy's with Paul George and Kawhi on the floor. He's the best player, and it's kind of comfortably so.
Are we talking about from the field or from the free throw line?
Oh, hey, even with the free throws, he's still the best player on the court.
With the free throws, they're up 3-0.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a great point. I think they make enough more free throws if he gets to like 80-90%, which he should be doing. Again, he might be hurt though. He was wearing.
I'm convinced he's hurt. Did you see that shoulder sling he was wearing?
And he still dropped 44, 9,
44 on 15 of 28 shooting, and he shot 7 of 13 from the field.
Yeah.
And this is against the best defensive duo since Jordan and Pippen.
Yeah, people were comparing.
And he's eating them alive.
Yeah, he's unguardable right now. I'm going to say a hot take. I think literally right now, Luka's top 5.
Oh, that's not a hot take. That's just.
I think. Well, for all the people that are in the league, there's like the LeBrons, James Harden's, the KDs, Giannis's, and a couple other guys you would put up there. Even Steph Curry, like he's above 1 or 2 of those guys right now, easily. So I mean, some people would be like, no, but for me, I would be taking him maybe number 4.
I mean, this guy's
stay comfortably in top 5.
This guy's even younger than Jason Tatum. This guy's 22,
and
he's dropping.
1999.
He hasn't scored under 30 points in his playoff career. Like, take that in.
Really?
Under,
insane.
That's
like he's shooting like with like this game yesterday. He's shooting 3% from the field easily for his playoff career.
Yeah,
but I mean his free throws is poo poo ass. Like it is so bad.
He has 1 knock. I think. Well, maybe not all the greats, but they usually have 1 knock. Even LeBron isn't that great from the free throw line. Better than this.
Yeah.
LeBron is not better than this. LeBron and Luka both shoot like 65% from the free throw line.
I thought LeBron was in the
for LeBron's career, he's way better. But the past couple of years, this guy has regressed. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you'd think with practice you get better.
Oh, he's getting worse. It's like he's thinking about it too much. Skip Bayless right. LeBron's scared of the free throw line. I think. I really do.
I would be too if I shot that poorly. No, I don't want to be there. Don't follow me. Let me get my points. Okay, let's get into Denver and Portland. So I believe Portland tied it up, right? It's 2-2 in the series.
I don't know.
Portland won today, so
2-1 for Portland.
It's 2-2.
It's 2-2,
right?
yeah.
2-2.
So the
Portland.
No. The
Portland
Nuggets
won today.
Oh, Portland won today. It's 2-2.
Yeah, so it's 2-2. Jokic had a bad game. I didn't watch it, but from looking at the stats, this was his first bad game he had.
Yeah. You know what's funny? So the app we used to watch, look at our sports, the score, they released an article saying it's impossible right now. The Nuggets can't stop Dame and Portland can't stop Jokic. Today they both played terrible.
They stopped each other. And then our boy Norman Powell, much love to Norm, showed out for Portland.
Unreal.
I hope he stays with him. I think it's a good fit for Norman Powell in Portland.
I just love to see Norman popping off.
Yeah,
we weren't going to be in the playoffs this year, so I mean, good for him. I hope he balls out. And I said Portland's going to beat Denver because Jamal Murray's a massive loss for them, and I still stay by it. And they're slowly crawling their way back.
Yeah, it's 2-2.
Jokic can't stop him forever.
Mm-hmm.
He can beat him,
but damn, he's so good. Damn, he's so good.
I think yeah, Jokic has that's another guy we didn't mention in the top 5. He's been doing this his whole.
How many top 5s are in the top 5?
Exactly.
I have
that's how hard it is to get into this top 5.
7 people in my top 5.
That's why it's so tough. That's why Luka's it's kind of a hot take. And Jokic too. He's about to win the MVP. I think
he's gonna win MVP.
Yeah,
I'm biased because I'm a Dubs fan, and I mean your second best player was Draymond. The can't make a. Oh man, can't make a floater green. Oh my gosh,
that was tough to watch.
Oh my gosh,
second best player's gotta be Wiggins. What do you mean
It's
Draymond?
definitely not Draymond.
Do you think Wiggins is better than Draymond or no?
I mean, Wiggins really impressed me this year, and I this completely shifted the topic. But I think with the addition of Wiggins and the bringing back Clay from injury, Wiggins can take the pressure off Clay because I don't think Clay's ever gonna be the same. He tore his ACL and then he tore his Achilles on the same leg back-to-back years. This guy hasn't touched the floor for 2 years.
Brutal.
Yeah.
So
he just needs to shoot though.
Oh my
He's gonna
God.
shoot.
Oh, that stroke's so pure. Money.
And you can't leave him alone, even if he is kind of hindered athletically. Mm-hmm. You can't leave him open. He's gonna hit it down if it's open.
And speaking of hitting it open, Jokic is a great shooter, but his form is so ugly. I would have never.
It has to be like that.
I would have never thought that you could shoot from behind your head and just catch it every time.
No, but yeah, much love to him though.
Money though, money.
Even
it looks awkward doing it.
Yeah, even with Jamal Murray, he wasn't an All-Star this year. He's technically never played with an All-Star, and he made a conference finals. I'm this guy could do it on his own. Clearly, his next best player right now is Michael Porter Jr.
Who's
a second year
eating though?
Who is eating?
Not this game. He was eating.
No, but
he was on a diet.
I'm taking Denver in 7.
Fasting.
He's fasting. Ramadan's over though. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I'm taking Denver in 7. I know you guys have Portland.
Portland still
7.
pull it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. is weird, man. He got into it with his coach in the regular season and docked his own minutes hardcore. I just don't trust people with like attitude issues like that to be consistent in their play. So I don't think Michael Porter Jr.
But I mean, the guy also got COVID, so it took him a while to get his rhythm back.
Oh, he did.
He did get COVID.
I just don't trust Austin Rivers in the starting lineup. So
Yo, he showed out Game 3. He had massive buckets.
And then what did he do today though? What did he do today?
That's Austin Rivers for you.
Austin Rivers had a grand total of 8-2. Oh, he almost played as well as Kristaps. My bad. Sorry, my bad.
God.
Superstar Chris.
Superstar. Yo, back just before we go, Kristaps is like scared to dribble. Like you ever watch him at the top of the key? This guy holds it up with his like 9'5" wingspan, but is too scared to dribble. We thought he was a unicorn. He
was for a little bit.
Like, can this guy
He's
not
just
practice?
a stallion now.
He's just a statue. Like, what is going on? Like, this guy can't dribble.
But he has unlimited range too, man.
He has no. She can pull from anywhere, but I don't think it's going in.
All right, let's get into Phoenix and the Lakers. I feel so bad for Phoenix. If Chris Paul was a healthy man, I think they'd be winning this 2-1. But he's a hurt guy. He's playing, but should he even be playing? Like, I don't know. I think the Lakers are going to win this now because Chris Paul is so just injury prone.
Well, I thought the Lakers were going to win it no matter what,
Yeah.
so I don't think CP's injury affects it at all for me. But because he's injured, they definitely ain't winning now. And everybody who thought Phoenix is 100% changing their minds because they got no shot with CP. It definitely showed like what a big piece of that team CP3 is, and I love to see it too because he hasn't exactly been the cream of the crop lately. So I love to see him get back into old school form. Shout out to OKC Rip.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of didn't we realize Chris Paul's value last year when he brought that OKC team to the playoffs?
I mean, true.
Yeah.
I think Chris Paul's one of the guys who deserves a ring.
I know.
Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony deserve a ring.
Not this year.
He didn't get it.
Not this
Not
year.
this
Never.
Chris Paul needs to
shot.
pull sit on like a super team and just be a fifth option.
Hey, Brooklyn.
I mean, did you guys know Carmelo was actually supposed to replace Chris Bosh as the big three? Carmelo just wanted more
He's too
pay,
loyal to
and
New
he
York.
wanted his own team. Yeah.
Fair enough. I don't blame him, though, if he wanted to stay with his boyhood city. But I think Phoenix, from watching the 2 games that Phoenix did lose, they were tight with a hurt Chris Paul. Like, I think they lost by 10 the last game. I'm like, man, Chris Paul's healthy. He plays that whole time. Like, they could win one of those games. They could be up 2-1 right now. They're not getting slapped by the Lakers.
No, but LeBron's also not playing like the best.
he's
AD's playing
playing
nice.
well enough.
AD's playing nice though.
He's playing pretty
I
nice.
still
He's
think
doing what he needs to do.
LeBron's probably still hurt.
You think so?
I think
ankle?
I don't think he's not attacking. Look about it.
He was doing some.
Most of his highlights are jump shots, turnarounds. Yeah. Like he's shooting well from the field, but obviously terrible from the free throw line. That's obvious.
Yeah.
What else is new?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the Lakers. It's LeBron, so you're like they got to be going into the finals. And AD is actually playing well. He's showing out. He's dropping at least 30 a game, and if he doesn't, he has like maybe low 20s to teens. Like Phoenix can take this to 6 or 7. I don't see why not. DeAndre Ayton's playing super well. He's dropping like 20 and 10 per game.
Every time I look at the stats, this guy's never missing a shot. He's like 8 for 8.
He's shooting like 80% from the field.
Against AD, he's like everyone's like AD's one of the best defenders in the entire league, if not the best defender, and he's elevating his game against this guy. So if he's playing like that, Devin Booker's shooting lights out. Well, maybe not lights out, but he's playing how he's supposed to be playing. You give a little 18 and 8 from Chris Paul. I'm like, I don't know, but I think that dream is dead for a lot of Phoenix fans now, sadly.
Like
fans, Phoenix?
I'm a Devin Booker fan, so I actually really loved his play. I love the way he plays.
Yeah.
And when I saw the matchup between the Lakers and the Suns, even with a healthy Chris Paul, I still thought the Lakers were the better team just because they had AD and they had LeBron James. Like LeBron James hobbled is still a top 2 player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy?
It's between him and KD. So I really thought that with a healthy Chris Paul, it would have been like 4-2 Lakers. It would have gone to 6. I think it's gonna be 5 games.
So they're winning the next.
I want to see Devin Booker numbers, but I don't think they're gonna push it to 6.
I think they'll still win more at least. All these games have been tight. They haven't gotten blown out yet.
Well, I mean they lost by 14 last game.
It was like a 10-ish point game with a minute and a half left. So I'm like, their starters were on the court. They were like still going at it with a couple minutes left during crunch.
I mean,
so,
you love the effort, but like how often like a close game should be within 5. Like 10 points is
it was striking distance.
Yeah, striking distance,
right.
but
10 points is getting a little out.
Like Devin Booker needs to play like Jason Tatum for Phoenix to have a chance. I want Devin Booker to drop 70 again.
But we can see that happening. I think we can see a 50-point Devin Booker game.
Oh, I would love to see it.
It's possible. We've seen
know.
him drop 70. I don't see why not a 50. Like the Lakers don't have the best wing defender. Like they're good, but like on Devin Booker, like a Drew Holiday defender type good. Like
I think if I were the Lakers, I'd be like anyone can beat me but Devin Booker. I'd much rather have Cameron Payne. I mean, no, DeAndre Ayton cannot be stopped right now. Like I haven't talked about him at all, but he's really showing out as the first overall pick, and it's crazy because we always talk about Luka, but DeAndre Ayton was in the same draft. He was the first overall pick, and no one talks about him. But
and Marvin Bagley
because he's been
my god,
his career's been like a roller coaster. But he's balling out right now.
He's balling out.
It's nice to see. I think Phoenix made the right choice. I know like you wanted to.
I don't know,
but he's a Phoenix guy.
They definitely did not. No, they did not. No, wait.
Hear me out.
Okay. And then I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Mr. Ayton, he played for Arizona State, right?
Okay.
And he was from Arizona too.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And the Luka, obviously, look, we know what he is now, but he was still like, you didn't really know too well. Clearly, it translated well, and they needed a big. They 100% needed a big guy to go with Devin Booker, and then they eventually got Chris Paul, who's balling out like crazy. Sadly, he's injured. So I'm like, why don't you take the boyhood? Like it was like Obi Toppin with New York Knicks. Like you could have taken.
What a pick!
Obi Toppin's not playing that bad for the Knicks. Right?
One game, and this guy has had
last couple games. He's been playing like
this guy
minimally, but like playing well. I don't see why you don't.
I mean, they could have had Tyrese Halliburton, and they
that was the guy that everyone was like,
Obi
should have taken Halliburton over Toppin, but he's a New York guy. It's like the fans love it. You're selling to the fans, and I'm pretty sure Ayton was a guy from Arizona State.
The reason why
he could be off signing autographs while the rest of the team plays.
You know what sells to fans? Wins.
Oh.
Hey, they were number 2 this season.
They were. Now they must be out.
Why I think Ayton has played really well, like exceeded my expectations, but Devin Booker is a great scoring guard, and he doesn't necessarily do amazing with point guard responsibilities. So if you paired him with Luka or you paired him with a Trae Young, because you see what Chris Paul is doing, he's alleviating all this pressure from Devin Booker, and he can just freely score, which he's a professional scorer. Like he is so good. Like as a guard, he shoots like 49%, almost 50% from the field.
Top tier.
Like that's top tier. Like mid range is crazy.
Let me see this. Devin Booker still likes to get touches on the ball. Like he doesn't want to be the quintessential point guard guy, but he wants to like handle the ball at least well. From what we've seen with Luka and Dallas, he is the most like ball dominant guy in the entire league. So like it probably does correlate as long as Devin Booker is willing to like almost like sit on the sides like Klay does with Steph Curry. And Draymond Green, he kind of handles the ball too. But he would have to make that sacrifice to Luka because Luka's just every play running through Luka. He has to. I think his usage is at like the highest in the league at like 33%.
But is that because there's no one else capable
Possibly.
of handling the ball? I mean, Jalen Brunson. He's really showed out.
Yeah,
he's going to get paid this offseason because it's his contract year. But I mean, Jalen Brunson isn't Devin Booker. If you had a Devin Booker,
that's why Brunson can like go like be like okay.
But you see that Luka's like, Jalen Brunson, you take it.
Hey,
you handle the ball.
Okay.
You handle the ball.
I'll take an L on this one.
Devin Booker is a 6'4", be unstoppable, like scoring professional scorer. Like if Luka had him instead of this fake unicorn, this statue or vice versa. Think about how good they could be. They like, in my opinion, Devin Booker. I have a high opinion of Devin Booker. I think he's like between 15 and 20, and if he really shows up, I think he could be higher. I think he could be a superstar. But Luka is already certified. DeAndre Ayton is a really good big. He's an all-star potential big. Sometimes. I mean, he's showing up this year, but during the season,
I think it's the consistency we need to see from Ayton now.
They reduced his minutes because Saric was playing better.
Shout out to my boy Dario Saric.
Oh,
he can shoot the three.
Shout out to your boy. Why is he your boy?
Dario. He's Croatian. I'm Croatian.
Yeah.
That's why he's my boy.
Yeah, I like his facial hair. I'm jealous.
Just
because he has it.
All right.
That's crazy.
All right, let's get into the last one.
What time do I have to leave? That's crazy.
Let's get into the last matchup. Utah and Memphis. I think Memphis has been playing pretty well. Like their defense, they got to be one of the best defensive teams in the league.
I think they are one of the
Are they
best.
number one?
They have one of the most efficient offenses and defenses. Like
Wow.
they were like top 10 in both categories.
Dude, their team is so deep. There's so many guys on that roster that aren't playing in the playoffs, but they could be playing elsewhere. Like Canadian Brandon Clark.
Brandon Clark, he hasn't touched the court.
Anthony Melton.
I think Desmond Bain is really good too.
Yeah, Desmond Bain plays here and there. Grayson Allen doesn't even play that much
Yeah,
anymore.
even like they start, but like Kyle Anderson has been playing well.
Slow-mo himself.
I don't know.
Yeah, he seems so slow, but
That guy was not on my radar even slightly at the beginning of the season.
He was a good fantasy option this year.
Was he?
He was on my team for the whole season.
I
He
mean,
did well
I have a bias against DeAnthony Melton because I'm like, just give this guy minutes because his per 36 minutes,
is amazing.
this guy's an all-star. Insane. This guy's like 25, 11, and like 19 steals. But he never gets minutes. And then I pick him up every year. I know. I do it. He plays like 2 good games. I'm like, oh, he's about to be unleashed. Oh, chef's kiss.
The coach is gonna see it.
And then he plays 10 minutes the next game and pisses me off.
Did Winson just pick up DeAnthony Melton?
That's why I didn't win this year. Fuck that guy.
Hey, but Utah's looking good now that
Things back.
Donovan Mitchell.
What did I say in the first episode? I said Donovan Mitchell is a key piece of that team.
Well, he's the best player.
1-0 without Donovan Mitchell in the playoff series.
yeah, he's doing well.
It's not like they're 2-0, 3-0, but still they won the first game when Donovan Mitchell returns, and I stand by what I said. Utah is a dangerous team. Everybody should be scared in the West to go up against them. They're the number 1 seed for a reason, and they're going to deal with Memphis.
Yeah, I think they're going to deal with Memphis too. I just wanted to give Memphis some love, but if we're going to say Memphis is deep, Utah's got 2 Sixth Man of the Year nominee guys.
Clarko.
That's phenomenal. And they have shooters all around. I think they took the most attempted threes in the
They're
league.
so good at shooting 3. It's actually
With Rudy Gobert on the court.
Oh my! He's actually a waste man. He's so waste. Like the fact that he got like a $200 million contract just boggles my mind.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I mean,
disgusting.
For doing what? Touching the mic and
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He shut down the league. You know.
Shut down the league.
Shut down the league.
Shut down the nation.
Shut down COVID.
Defensive player of the year for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
He does what he does well, though.
But he
does incredibly well.
I think he's a
great rebounder, and he can
rim protector.
He's a rim protector, bro. You do not go in on the rim against Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, but then
His shortcomings are pretty bad.
When we were talking about,
but they utilize him in a good way.
I guess
They're not going to hang this man out to dry and try to put him in spots where he's guarding the perimeter all the time. They're going to play to Rudy's strengths.
But I mean, in a switch-oriented league today,
yeah, I was gonna say
he gets cooked. He gets cooked in the perimeter, and I think he's a overrated defender. I think that he's terrible on switches. Like people literally attack Rudy Gobert on the perimeter, and
they
they're not
him on purpose.
On purpose,
They
like
wanna get,
like
him on
Luka
purpose.
switched on Patrick Beverley. Luka would switch on Rudy Gobert too. This guy gets eaten all the time. He's like, ooh, French, yum yum yum
That's an
yum.
open 3 for
That's
Luka.
open. This guy is a defensive player of the year, and he gets attacked on switches.
You remember that video of Steph putting Rudy Gobert in a blender?
Which video? Which video? Which time?
Dude, the back
Which time?
video is what I'm talking
Steph said, washing machine, cycle.
Can't believe y'all are disrespecting Rudy so bad.
I dislike Rudy Gobert. I think
his
his
shortcomings are bad, yes, but what he's good at, he's phenomenally good at.
He cried when he wasn't an all-star. The guy's not an all-star. He cries like, I worked so hard. You're obviously not an all-star.
He just cares.
Oh my God! Let me cry. Let me get something. If I cried,
he just cares so much.
I don't care.
Right.
I don't.
I want to hear how far is Utah going? How far did you have them going? Utah.
I think they could go to the. Wait, who would they match up against in the next
Clippers
round?
or Mavs?
The Clippers or Mavs.
I think it's tight, but they definitely could beat one of those teams. Yeah.
So wait, you had the Clippers winning.
They could go to the conference finals.
You had the Clippers winning against Dallas. So do they beat Clippers?
I think they could.
No, you have to choose.
If I have to choose, yeah, fuck it, I'd take Utah.
You take Utah.
Yeah, I think they're deep.
I think Utah is.
I think they're deep, and I think the reason I'm so confident the Clippers are going to come back against Dallas is because Dallas isn't deep. I think after the unicorn Luka, and then shout out Jalen Brunson. I got to give that man the respect he deserves. He's playing really well this year. It falls off a freaking cliff. Utah
Oh, and
is
Tim
so
Hardaway.
deep.
Tim Hardaway Jr. is playing well.
Tim Hardaway.
shout out to Noakes.
Okay, he's
Tim Hardaway.
Love Dunstan.
Tim Hardaway is up and down. Yeah, he'll have the game where he drops 30.
so streaky.
Yeah,
so
next
streaky.
next
he is.
game he'll
I
drop
agree.
like 10, 11 points and he'll be irrelevant.
Yeah.
So I don't really think he's a massive series long factor. He'll be a game by game factor sometimes, but Utah is extremely deep, and I believe in all these guys. The guys like Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert don't get their respect, and I do think that they're phenomenally
Well,
good players.
Bojan Bogdanovic too. Shout out my guy, dropped 29.
And that guy is not playing well.
Now
and
he
he's
is.
still good.
Now he
Now
is.
he's starting to pick up.
Shout out
Also,
my boy.
Jingling Joe Ingles, my guy.
Yeah, that's my guy too.
Super underrated.
Australian.
I just think their team going down to the bench through their 8th, 9th players that are going to be stepping on the court are very, very good.
If you were to average like Utah's average stats for all their players, they'd probably have the highest average. Like all their players are like at least
Per
like six,
9 or
6.5,
something?
7s
Oh, out of 10.
out of 10.
Yeah.
And then what you got?
Yeah.
You got Rudy Gobert. I mean, you got Rudy Gobert.
He's
so
like
I mean,
maybe
he's like a
like a
1,
7.5.
like 2.
I was gonna say
He's like a
7.5.
1 or 2, and then everyone else is like a 7 or 8. So
Yeah.
he really brings down the
I
average.
think
but-
Spider is like a 9.5.
Oh, Spider is so good.
In the playoffs, he-
I definitely have
he's-
underrated Spider. I totally forgot how good he was last season. When
He's
him
dropping
and
50.
when he was
He's going
dropping
head-to-head with
50.
Jamal Murray.
Oh,
Yeah.
50.
That was crazy.
That
Well,
was
I always say
incredible.
if Bojan was healthy that series,
I do think-
Utah wins. Utah wins 100%.
I think
It's
I kind of
another
agree with
shooter.
John.
Hell yes.
I'm,
So wait, you got if
I'm-
Utah makes it out, they play the Clippers. You're taking Utah.
I'm gonna take Utah. I have underrated Utah this whole season, and my clear bias
against Rudy Gobert.
the French lick from wherever the hell he is, has shielded my eyes. But they're actually a really dangerous team, and any team that can shoot the 3 as good as they can has a really, really good shot.
I agree.
And it's proven that Kawhi and Paul George aren't the defenders that they were, and I mean they lost 3-1 last year. Like I don't think they're great under pressure.
Yeah. We were talking about that last week about Kawhi, like kind of like not really performing like he did with the Raptors when crunch time came around. We'll see. I mean, he had a good game 3.
But did you see game 3? He performed like that again.
He did.
And
I was
he
going to
just-
say game 3 was the first evidence since the Raptors times where you're like, okay, Kawhi, you do this. Like PG did his job. He was dropping a lot.
Yeah.
But crunch time, Kawhi, you got to score.
Yeah.
And he
PG was
good.
Pascal.
But good Pascal. But that's not a term.
Good
that was
Pascal.
good
Good, Pascal's good in the playoffs. No, don't put that. 2019.
Yeah.
He was good in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
Well enough.
like I watched the highlights the other day. Yo, Pascal could spin off both shoulders. What happened? Like this guy decided I only wanted to
He chose,
spin
but
move like one side.
Yeah. Anyways, back to Utah. I just think in today's NBA, your second best player cannot be a Rudy Gobert type player.
Yeah.
Back in the days of Shaq and
Well,
those guys
well,
when they had big men.
We gave zero love to Mike Conley. Like, absolutely.
Oh my
zero
God.
love
But
to
he's the
Mike
third
Mike
best player.
Conley.
He's the third,
So,
not best player, but he's like I guess technically the third best player because of defense and Gobert. But he's like the third player on their team technically if you're thinking about it.
yeah.
But like you still need look at all the teams that are winning championships. You need the second guy to be a scorer as well.
I think Bogey is a scorer though.
But he's not the second guy. You know what I mean? Like he's not the second best player on the team.
I think
But
when-
that's what I
when-
think is very unique about Utah is they don't have a second guy, but they have like a 2, 3, 4, 5 that are all way better than all these other teams.
And Black Hole Jordan Clarkson
which does
can
not
score
succeed
40.
in winning
I
a
was
championship ever.
I was gonna say, like,
in terms
I don't
of
think
the
they're gonna win.
championship-
I don't think they're gonna win the championship. I think that they will
So
make
they-
it to the Western Conference.
finals.
Yeah, Western
And
Conference.
they lose to the Lakers?
I think they'll lose to the Lakers.
Okay.
And then Lakers gonna get stopped up by the Nets because if the
And
Nets
anyways.
don't win this year, what, huh?
You blow it up. I literally just blow it up.
No, okay,
You're not gonna blow it up.
calm
No, I
down.
know you're not gonna blow it up.
Oh my
But
god.
I'm like, yo, like, they had so much expectation. It's like, yo, come on, you really didn't win this league? Are you
I would
kidding
be
me?
like, I would be really nervous for as a Brooklyn Nets player because there's just so much expectation of you guys winning, and if you don't, like the offseason is gonna be terrible, and then every game you're gonna become the hunted again. That's just a lot of pressure on 3 stars.
Yeah,
And,
I agree.
And
Yeah.
2 of the James Harden's never won. Kyrie won one time, thought he was gonna be the man. Then shot 6 for 18 in a playoff game. Oh, I'm never gonna do it again. Shot 6 for 19. So there's a lot of pressure on the Nets.
I think those 3 guys have had a lot of pressure on them anyway. I don't think it's going to matter too much to them.
Yeah,
KD's been in that pressure situation already with Golden State and like expecting to win the championship and succeeding multiple
But he joined a
times.
72 win team with a proven winning culture.
Yeah. And that's even worse expectations. If you're a 72-win team and then you get that much better with KD, how is that not way worse than the expectations Brooklyn's facing right now? That is so much worse. KD's been there. He's done that. I don't think it's crossed his mind. James and Kyrie, maybe, but they're such massive superstars. I think they put that pressure on themselves anyway.
Yeah.
I think James Harden, when it was literally the Harden Rockets and the second best player was Eric Gordon.
Oh my God.
You think that guy didn't put pressure on himself to win?
I mean,
It's this is me. If we don't win, that's on me. I did that. I made us lose.
I forgot how good James Harden was when the Rockets were poo, and he brought them to the 3rd or 4th seed. And everyone was giving Steph props for how poo this Warriors team, but this Warriors team was way better than what James Harden. Way better. And Harden did so much more. I think Harden gets a lot of flack for his shortcomings in the playoffs. But he does so much with so little that I think that I've definitely underappreciated how good James Harden is and how once of a generation player he is.
Yeah. All right, that will wrap up episode 3 of the Raging Ricky Sports Podcast. Thank you everyone for joining. Johnny E, aka Puggy, you know the vibes. COD God, Fantasy God, Brendan Yoshida, Scout Team Podcast, shout out. Just dropped an episode 2, so look for that. And Winson Cheong, man. You did a good job here.
First podcast, first of many.
First of May, yeah. I need to get you on here a few times.
You can submit your request to my Instagram.
Slide in my DMs, Winson_Cheong for sports takes. Yeah.
For definitely sports takes.
Only sports takes. Only.
Yeah, much love, man. Much love. But yeah, that's our episode for the day. We're going to wrap this up even though Winston's laughing. Anyways, Raging Ricky signing out.